With the recent release of Snow White, Disney has yet again released a live-action remake of one of their animated classics. Not unlike more than half of these, this film was filmed with controversy through its marketing period that probably hurt this movie's box office run in a lot of ways. But it doesn't change the fact that this movie fits right into the Disney Remake Universe we first explored on this channel 3 months ago. So, welcome to Big Flick Energy, and let's get right into it. And for starters, this movie lives between the worlds of the live-action remakes of Mulan and Beauty and the Beast. It changes the story and characters in a lot of ways to try to be original like Mulan, but still recognizes the nostalgia that makes people want to go to this movie by keeping relevant songs and stories like Beauty and the Beast. But given the story is different in a lot of ways, I think this is the best way to run through how this movie fits into the Disney Remake Universe. And for starters, we get to learn more about why Snow White's kingdom has been taken over by the evil queen and how it was before her. When Snow White's parents were in charge of the kingdom, they made it clear to her that the kingdom was her destiny to one day rule. And they did this in a new song by the name of Good Things Grow. And in this song, we hear something that Disney movies have loved to make a part of their stories, especially as of late, wishing. In this song, Snow White's parents get into her destiny by singing, "Make a wish for who you want to be, tell us who you someday wish to see." They then say all the things she can be and tell her, make a wish and you will see her too. All of this as they are in front of a wishing well. Now, I don't think the wishing well has magical properties to grant a wish, but I think it's more symbolic and just shows how important wishing for something greater is in this world. It's something we just saw in Mufasa, with the famed song I Always Wanted a Brother, where Scar admits in the song he made a wish on the brightest star and said he always wanted a brother. And he ended up getting a brother in Mufasa. And then the next Disney remake movie coming out this year is Lilo and Stitch, which has Lilo wishing upon a shooting star for a friend, which ends up being Stitch, who's crashing down on Earth and becomes her friend. And while I think wishing in this story is less magical and more symbolic, magic is once again prevalent in this story, especially seen through the dwarves now having magic hands that can light up the stones and gems they're mining for, the evil queen being able to make a flower from nothing, being able to make a flower die in her hand, being able to make a blade from nothing, her magic potions and spellbook, the magic mirror, the magic forest which includes the dwarves and living trees, and Snow White herself who is asked to make a wish and can talk to animals. She's the only one that recognizes how intelligent animals truly are, an intelligence we see in The Lion King, Lady and the Tramp, and so many other stories. Magic in this world holds strong all the way back from Mufasa, and this story all the way to the Sorcerer's Apprentice in near modern day. We also see it with True Love's Kiss still being the magic that can cure the poison apple. Now, who this true love is a little different this time around, with there being no prince in this movie, and him instead being replaced by a bandit. But it was still True Love's Kiss. And that also feeds into an aspect that's very different in this movie of the 7 bandits. Characters that were initially going to replace the 7 dwarves, but Disney realized it would be too similar to the flop Mulan was, so they brought back the dwarves, but also kept the 7 bandits, even making one of the bandits an actual person with dwarfism, which is pretty ironic considering they didn't want to cast actual people with dwarfism as the 7 dwarfs. There's also another scene feeding into the magic of this world where Dopey is playing with what at first looks like a firefly, but at a closer glance appears more to be a pixie, similar to Tinkerbell. This isn't Tinkerbell, given the live-action Tinkerbell looks nothing like this fairy, but it helps connect this movie to the larger world of the Disney Remake Universe. And what I believe really helps connect this film into the larger Disney Remake Universe, which once again ties into Peter Pan and Wendy, is how the evil queen met her end. You see, in the animated movie, she's being chased by the dwarves and the animals and falls off a cliff, where the vultures look over her, ready for their next meal. In the live-action remake, what instead happens is Snow White returns to her kingdom and rallies all the people and soldiers against the evil queen. So the evil queen rushes to the magic mirror one last time to ask who's the fairest of them all. The mirror tells her she will never be the fairest because Snow White's beauty is much deeper than the Queen's external beauty will ever be. Pretty much saying she'll always be a witch inside, this leads to the evil Queen rage quitting and destroying the magic mirror, which shows its true magic in this moment as it sucks her into the mirror like it's a portal and rebuilds its glass panel, trapping her inside. It's a scene that reminded me of another portal we've seen in another live-action remake in Peter Pan and Wendy, where to get to Neverland, they go through the big bend that breaks, becomes a portal, and rebuilds itself. That's not what they did in the animated movie. It makes me think, is the evil Queen really trapped inside the mirror? Or did she destroy it on purpose, knowing it would take her back to her home dimension after she lost her power in this dimension? We've been asking since the initial videos where these magic creatures come from in all these worlds, and established there are different portals leading to different dimensions that we first witness in a map in Aladdin. It includes Tomorrowland, Adventureland, Fantasyland, and so many more. Now, where is this dimension? I believe she's from Adventureland, the world that includes Pirates of the Caribbean, Jungle Cruise, The Rocketeer, Tomorrowland, and Haunted Mansion, and is probably a similar character to Calypso in a similar time period, and I say this because of how she wants her huntsman to kill Snow White at first, and that's by locking her heart away in a chest. A very similar trope we saw in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. Now, there's not too much to go on for that, but right now it's my strongest assumption for where she came from, which helps explain where her black magic of sorts comes from as well. So I'm not going to say she comes from there, but for the time being, we can assume that.
I'm not going to say what race, what people, doctor, and what hospital, and what media went to. We know I can't say that. It was a Jewish doctor.
Now, all that's left is where this movie fits in the timeline, and this film, same as its animated counterpart, takes place in the early 1500s, taking place after Mulan in the 1400s and before The Little Mermaid in the early 1700s. So with that, we have how Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and the Seven Bandits fits into the Disney Remake Universe. We established this through the continued use of magic in the world, the magic mirror being a portal to another dimension the evil Queen is now in, which may be connected to Pirates of the Caribbean, and its place in the timeline. So thank you for watching this video. Please comment down below your thoughts on the movie, if you agree with how this fits into the Disney Remake Universe, if you're excited for the next remake in Lilo & Stitch, and just your overall thoughts on the Disney Remake Universe and how this might tie into Adventureland's universe. Thanks again for watching, and see you all next time on Big Flick Energy.